Welcome to the AWS Report. I'm Jeff Barr. Today I'm speaking with Shabir Daoud of TraceLink. Welcome.
Thank you.
So you were named a winner of the AWS Startup Challenge. What was that like?
It was very exciting and very gratifying. We have worked very hard to build up our business and our application architecture on top of AWS, and I think that it really is important to the employees who have worked so hard to basically demonstrate how important and valuable their work is to get that recognition. But we've also gotten a lot of positive feedback from our customers because they've made a decision to go with us on top of Amazon, and that's a bold decision that they've made, and to recognize that that they've made a decision for a product that's so well recognized by Amazon was very important to them.
So let's start by talking a little bit about what TraceLink is and what it does.
TraceLink provides a platform into the pharmaceutical industry, and that platform integrates all the different businesses, all the way from the production of pharmaceutical drugs, from ingredients all the way to patients. And by integrating all the information, we can make the full supply chain much more secure to prevent counterfeiting and to make sure that the drugs are available to patients that need them.
Now, what led you to get into this business?
Well, fundamentally, there's a set of issues that are occurring within the pharmaceutical industry where there are a growing amount of counterfeit drugs. About 100,000 people a year die because of counterfeit drugs. That's about 7% of the global drug supply is counterfeit. In the US, there's also a 500% increase in the number of drugs that are out of stock. These are cancer, life-saving drugs. And so recognizing that this is a very important social issue, we wanted to come in and really help solve this problem with the industry. And the upside is that by eliminating counterfeits, by making sure the drugs are available on time, that it actually helps grow the pharmaceutical business as well.
Now, how does AWS actually help you to build your business?
AWS is fundamental to our success because there's no way a company of our size can service a market as large and as vast as the pharmaceutical industry without having a platform that can have the global reach, the scale, and the availability that Amazon provides us. So being a company of 30 employees and selling to the #1 pharmaceutical company in the world can only be possible with AWS.
Now, what parts of AWS do you use?
We use all of AWS that we can use at any particular time. We started early. We used S3, then we used the queuing system. Now we're going to be using Dynamo, Cloud Search. Fundamentally, from our perspective, the more of AWS we can use, the better off we are, both from an application engineering perspective, as well as from a long-term serviceability perspective.
What features of AWS actually help you the most? Is it an economic decision? Is it a scalability decision? Is it taking away a lot of lower level complexity for you?
Fundamentally, what it does is that in order to actually provide a solution of our type that has to work at the scale, we're talking about 100 billion units that we'll have to manage in the next 7 years. The number of companies, thousands of companies, the number of users, thousands of users. So in order for us to be able to accomplish that, we actually have to architect our software in a brand new way. And so from that perspective, our whole architecture is really targeted towards a new type of enterprise architecture.
All right. Now, do your customers know that they're running on AWS?
Yes, they do. And initially, we were a little reluctant because Amazon was new back in for the industry. But what we learned, especially with one of our customers, where we weren't sure how they would react to it. Once they learned that we're using Amazon, they said you should lead with that because it makes you much more credible. Because of the fact that we know that now you're on top of an architecture that can scale globally, have this availability. So now we actually lead with the fact that we're on Amazon AWS within a highly regulated, driven by compliance industry, that where security, patient information, user information needs to be well guarded. And the fact that we have those layers on top of AWS to provide that, we're actually leading with the fact that we're on Amazon.
So that actually turns out to be a net positive for you.
A huge asset.
That's great to hear. Now, where do you see this going in the next 6 to 12 months?
The place we're at in the marketplace is that we have the number 2 of the top 5 largest pharmaceutical companies as our customers, and they're rapidly deploying our solution. And our application is such that it has a network effect, or oftentimes referred to as a viral effect. Because as each company comes on board, they bring their partners on board, hundreds and hundreds of partners. With having the number 1 and number 3 company in the marketplace, they basically access over 90% of the full pharmaceutical network. So now when the next company joins, the value is significantly higher and the cost is significantly lower for everybody involved. And so we see rapid expansion and rapid growth within our company.
Now, if I understand this properly, your product is used not specifically within one company, but really in the transaction between 2 or more companies. Is that right?
Yes, that's a very good point. So what we saw was with the cloud is that there's an opportunity to have a platform that can go across companies. Obviously, companies have made choices, whether it's an Oracle choice or a Microsoft choice or an SAP choice, for operating their processes within their 4 walls effectively. But there is really no platform that can execute processes across companies. And so what we have built on top of AWS is a platform that basically integrates processes, information, and people across companies.
So you have to run in the cloud rather than running on any particular company's data center.
It's absolutely not possible to build a solution like ours except in the cloud.
Well, I want to congratulate you again for being a winner of the Startup Challenge, and I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with us.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate the
It's been my
recognition.
pleasure. Thank you so much. Okay. This has been the AWS Report, and I'm Jeff Barr.